More refugees, that's the word tonight from Lutheran Social Services. Valley News Live found out after attending for the first time a Refugee Services Advisory Committee meeting.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The statewide forum discussed, among other things, the projected number of refugees being brought to North Dakota. Valley News Team's immigration and relocation reporter Bradford Eric takes us inside that meeting.
About a dozen people each from Grand Forks and Bismarck joined the 40 or so at the Fargo Lutheran Social Services office for their quarterly meeting.
And really the goal is to try to invite organizations and individuals who work with refugees and similar immigrant populations in our communities around the state.
LSS CEO Jessica Thomason says the meeting was pretty typical. Representatives from Fargo PD, West Fargo Schools, the State Department of Human Services and Public Instruction, as well as community outreach organizations were present.
With the total for North Dakota has been shared with you for 445.
The U.S. State Department last month sent LSS their approved placement numbers for fiscal year 2016. 445 individuals with 13 minors, for a total of 458 people. Breaking that down, 50 people will be resettled in Bismarck, 95 in Grand Forks, leaving 300 people for the Fargo, West Fargo area.
I think any time that we don't necessarily have the personal experience or the information, something can be frightening to us.
Shell says she's been doing the work of helping refugees for decades now, and a lot of the current fear is because many of us have no experience interacting with refugees.
They're looking for them going to communities where there's more of a population base.
The topic of Syrian refugees coming to North Dakota came up during the meeting, and LSS officials say they have not gotten word of any Syrian refugees coming to North Dakota, and they don't anticipate any in the near future.
Our program has really seen more of our concentration of countries of origin from Somalia and Iraq and Congo and Bhutan in particular, and so we expect to continue that pattern going forward.
LSS says the people settled in the Fargo, West Fargo area are mostly those with family ties or cultural ties to populations already here. Because there's no large Syrian population base in the state, they don't expect many Syrian refugees. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
You can read more from today's meeting, and we have it posted as well online with some additional resources related to the 2016 projections. Just go to valleynewslive.com.
A Minnesota man who stands accused of trying to help others leave the country to join ISIS did not enter a plea today in court. Authorities say 20-year-old Abdirazak Warsami was providing material support to terrorists in Iraq and Syria. He was arrested in Eagan, Minnesota. Now, according to the criminal complaint, Warsami was at one point the leader of a group of young Somali Americans from the Twin Cities who tried to flee the country in April to aid the terrorist organization in Iraq and Syria.
Well, to weather now. Our good weather today stepped up a notch, and it's now kind of been great earlier, but we're seeing some things falling out of the sky. So, Hutch, what's going on out there right now?
Well, we started the day with things falling out of the sky in the form of rain showers in the FM area, and that cleared out pretty quickly, mid-morning or so. That's turned into some snowflakes in northwest Minnesota, so basically north of Highway 200 and Highway 10, we're seeing a few flakes flying, and out to the west, nothing but clouds, fog, and haze. So watch out tonight for some areas of freezing drizzle out west and some freezing fog in northwest Minnesota. A few slippery roads with accumulations of around an inch or so possible. As we enjoyed temperatures in the mid-40s today, it looks like things are going to be coming back down to earth over the next few days. This evening, 30s in the forecast. Wind from the northwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be cool. Make sure you give yourself some extra space between cars in the morning because that frosty condition on the roads returns. And we'll have a flaky Friday as we go through the latter portion of the day. Hour by hour details on that in a moment.
The snow is slowly moving in.
It is.
Okay, thank you, Hutch.
The 50-day-long search is over for a Red Bee, Minnesota woman missing from Bemidji since mid-October. The body of Rose Downwind, a mother of 5, was recovered from a shallow grave near Bemidji. Her ex-boyfriend, Marcello Cimarusti, has been charged with second-degree murder. Another man, Brandon Rossbach, has been charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder. And police say Christopher Davis is still a person of interest in the case. He has not been arrested. Earlier, Cimarusti told police that he saw Downwind leave his Bemidji home on October 21st. On Monday of this week, he confessed to killing her on October 20th and then transporting her body northwest of the city and burying her.
Although we are hurt, we have peace that Rose is with the Creator, and she will never be hurt again. In her honor, we ask that you pay attention to other missing persons cases.
Downwind's body has been sent to a coroner for an autopsy.
The suspect in a Northern Valley rape case is back behind bars after going missing for a few days. 33-year-old Brett Goulet of Crookston is behind bars at Cass County Jail. He's accused of raping 2 girls who are now 14 and 10 years old. The girl's grandmother told us yesterday that she was worried about the safety of the girls when police lost contact with him.
Trouble at the state pen in Bismarck. It went into lockdown last night after an inmate-on-inmate assault. The corrections officers say that the inmate that was injured was not seriously injured. The assault is still under criminal investigation, and that facility will remain under lockdown until further notice.
A local man believes cats really do have 9 lives after the rescue of a cat abandoned at a Fargo apartment. The Homeward Animal Shelter says the man living next door heard a cat meowing from an apartment that has been empty since September, and the man tells us that he told the landlord but claims nothing was done, so he contacted the shelter.
Now, the shelter says they tried to get the landlord and even police involved. Meanwhile, the cat escaped through the air duct and into the neighboring man's apartment. Well, the cat, named Walter, is doing fine. It has been adopted. Homeward Animal Shelter says that they don't expect charges of abuse because the animal was abandoned. Animal cruelty and abuse isn't typically tracked by police agencies, but as Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop explains, starting next year, the FBI will start collecting data on animal cruelty crimes.
In just 21 days, the FBI will start collecting data on animal cruelty crimes from the national database that police use. Employees of the Homeward Animal Shelter are happy to hear crimes against animals will be tracked.
I think it does need to be tracked. I'm not saying that every person that abuses an animal is going to abuse a human, but I mean, if they can abuse one living creature, it's not unheard of for them to start abusing humans as well.
The FBI plans to collect the data on 4 types of animal abuse: neglect, organized abuse like dogfighting, intentional abuse or torture, and animal sexual abuse. Currently, the Cass County Sheriff's Department says they only have 1 category of animal cruelty, and it is similar for Moorhead Police Department as well. Clyde says that in this area, they have not seen a lot of animal cruelty in past years.
I won't say it doesn't exist here, but it's very rare that we actually see reported cases.
Clyde says although it is great that the FBI is doing more, people are animals' best line of defense in being saved from abuse and neglect situations.
So the witness has to be willing to stand up and say, this is what I saw, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So I think just reporting it and people being willing to be someone they can list as a witness to be able to press charges.
In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
Data statistics from the FBI's animal cruelty category won't be available until 2017. Homeward Animal Shelter says that they're currently full with animals and have an adoption event this weekend to give animals loving homes. To find out more information, click on this story on our website at valleynewslive.com.
Fargo police say a man was rushed to the hospital after being found on the street with a head injury. Now, at this time, police believe it's a work-related injury. They don't suspect foul play. Fargo police say a passing driver found the man mid-morning on 21st Avenue South. The man was rushed to the hospital with what police describe as a large cut on his head. Police say the man appears to be a construction worker, and they did find a pickaxe nearby.
Funeral services are tomorrow in Grand Forks for the man who created Chippers. You know, the chocolate-covered potato chips? George Woodman died Tuesday, 95 years old. He worked in the family candy business until he was 92. His daughter, the owner of Carol Woodman's Candy Company in Fargo, says her father worked the longest in the family business. The Grand Forks store is where the chipper was created.
He was an inspiration. He was an inspiration. I mean, not only to our family, but to his customers and anybody else who knew him.
The Woodmans have 3 candy stores, one in Fargo, Grand Forks, and another in Crookston.
I was in there today buying Chippers. Incredible family, incredible chocolates.
Yes, incredible product.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, NDSU is the home for a new building that will benefit area students later at 6. What particular areas of study are going to be focused on?
A mild start to our day, 22 degrees above normal. But some more December-like weather is on its way. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast right after this.